Box jellyfish. A name whispered on Australian beaches like a curse. Nearly transparent, drifting like liquid glass through shallow coastal waters, armed with the most lethal venom in the ocean. This isn't some deep-sea monster hiding in the abyss. It hunts in water, shallow enough to wade through, in broad daylight, along beaches where people swim. Its bell can grow up to 30 centimeters across, trailing tentacles that extend 3 meters behind it like invisible razors. And here's what makes it truly terrifying. It can see you. The box jellyfish has 24 eyes, clustered in groups around its body. And unlike other jellyfish that just drift blindly, this one actively hunts. It can form images, navigate around objects, and pursue prey with intent. Its venom attacks 3 systems at once: your heart, your nervous system, and your skin cells, delivering enough toxin in a single sting to kill a human in 2 to 3 minutes. Over 60 documented deaths, and survivors describe the pain as being branded with a hot iron. Vinegar stations exist on beaches specifically because of this creature, but size and venom aren't everything in the jellyfish world. Some chose a different kind of terror: lion's mane jellyfish. The largest jellyfish on Earth, and possibly the longest animal ever recorded. A bell the size of a bathtub, trailing tentacles that can stretch over 100 feet, longer than a blue whale. This massive creature drifts through cold Arctic and northern Atlantic waters like a tangled nightmare. Its hundreds of tentacles, organized in 8 distinct clusters, sometimes numbering over 1,200 individual strands. It doesn't actively hunt like the box jellyfish. It doesn't need to. The lion's mane is basically a passive drifting net of pain, using its enormous curtain of tentacles to trap anything unlucky enough to swim into it. Fish, smaller jellyfish, even plankton, all caught in a web they never saw coming. In colder waters, it glows deep red and purple. In warmer regions, it fades to yellow and brown. But here's the problem. Climate change is pushing these giants into territories they've never occupied before, and when they bloom in huge numbers, they can devastate local fish populations and clog fishing nets for miles. Even washed up on the beach, dead for days, their tentacles can still deliver a sting painful enough to leave welts for weeks. Size isn't everything, though. Some jellyfish chose a different path entirely. Crystal jellyfish, beautiful, bioluminescent, and responsible for one of the greatest scientific breakthroughs of our time. Transparent as glass, glowing green at the edges, this small jellyfish pulses gently through Pacific coastal waters, carrying a protein that would eventually change biology forever. Its bell measures just 5 to 25 centimeters across, and it drifts anywhere from the surface down to depths of 2,500 meters, feeding quietly on smaller jellyfish and plankton. But hidden inside its bioluminescent tissues is something remarkable. Green fluorescent protein, or GFP, a compound that glows bright green when exposed to blue light. Scientists extracted this protein and figured out how to attach it to other cells, creating a way to see things that were previously invisible under a microscope. Cancer cells spreading through tissue, nerve connections forming in a developing brain, genes switching on and off inside living organisms, all of it suddenly visible, glowing green, thanks to this jellyfish. The researchers who developed GFP techniques won the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 2008. Meanwhile, the crystal jellyfish keeps drifting through cold Pacific waters, being eaten by leatherback turtles, vulnerable to ocean acidification, completely unaware it helped revolutionize modern medicine. But some jellyfish don't just glow. They refuse to die. Immortal jellyfish. A creature that discovered the secret humans have chased for millennia. How to reverse aging. Smaller than a pinky nail, just 4 to 5 millimeters across, yet capable of something no other animal can do. When this jellyfish gets injured, starved, or simply grows old, it doesn't die. It rewinds. The adult jellyfish sinks to the ocean floor, transforms into a blob of tissue, and reverts back to its polyp stage, the childhood form it started from. Then, it grows up again. And again, potentially forever. This process is called transdifferentiation, where specialized cells transform into completely different cell types, like turning skin cells into heart cells or brain cells into muscle. It's basically biological time travel, and scientists are studying it intensely for insights into human aging and cancer treatment. The immortal jellyfish now lives in temperate and tropical waters worldwide, possibly spreading through ship ballast water, quietly achieving what every anti-aging cream promises and never delivers. But here's the catch. Despite being biologically immortal, they still get eaten by predators, killed by disease, and threatened by habitat loss. Eternal life doesn't mean invincible. And speaking of spreading everywhere, one jellyfish has already invaded the entire world. Moon jellyfish, the most common jellyfish on Earth, and the reason you've probably seen one even if you thought you hadn't. Pale, ghostly, almost invisible in water, thriving in every ocean, harbor, and bay humans have touched. Its bell grows 25 to 40 centimeters across, marked by 4 horseshoe-shaped gonads visible through its transparent body, like a pattern etched in fog. This jellyfish is a weak swimmer, drifting mostly with currents, feeding on plankton using sticky mucus nets that trap microscopic food. And it reproduces with terrifying efficiency, both sexually and asexually, which is one reason it's absolutely everywhere. But moon jellyfish don't face challenges. They are the challenge. Climate change and overfishing have created perfect conditions for them to explode in population, and when they bloom in the millions. Massive swarms have shut down nuclear power plants by clogging cooling water intakes. They've disabled desalination facilities and wiped out fish farms. Their sting is mild, rarely dangerous to humans, but their economic impact is massive. The moon jellyfish is basically an indicator species, a living warning sign that something in the ocean has gone wrong. While moon jellies multiply everywhere, one jellyfish exists only in isolation. Golden jellyfish. Trapped in a saltwater lake for thousands of years, evolving in complete isolation, creating something the ocean has never seen. Millions of them pulse together like a breathing golden cloud, migrating across Jellyfish Lake in Palau every single day, following the sun from one end to the other. Their bells measure 10 to 20 centimeters across, glowing amber and bronze in the filtered light. And here's the remarkable part. They've lost most of their stinging ability. With no predators in the lake, they didn't need weapons anymore. Instead, they formed a partnership with tiny algae called zooxanthellae that live inside their tissues. The jellyfish spends its day chasing sunlight so the algae can photosynthesize, producing nutrients that feed the jellyfish in return. It's a perfect symbiotic relationship, a private ecosystem hidden inside a marine lake. But this paradise is fragile. In 2016, an El Niño warming event killed 99% of the population. The lake's delicate balance of temperature and salinity can collapse quickly, and climate change threatens to make these crashes more frequent. The golden jellyfish is a living laboratory for evolution, a major draw for ecotourism, and a canary in the coal mine for ocean warming. Isolation can remove weapons, but the deep ocean builds stranger ones. Atolla jellyfish, drifting a mile below the surface where sunlight never reaches, carrying an alarm system that turns predators into prey. Deep red, crown-shaped, with a bell measuring 10 to 17 centimeters across, this jellyfish lives 700 to 4,000 meters down in complete darkness. It's an ambush predator, using one extremely long tentacle as a fishing line while the others remain short, waiting for something to bump into the trap. But when something attacks the atolla, it doesn't fight back. It screams for help using light. The jellyfish produces a spinning bioluminescent pinwheel display, flashing bright blue in rapid pulses that can be seen from far away in the dark water. This isn't a distress signal meant for other atollas. It's a burglar alarm designed to attract something bigger, something that might eat whatever is currently attacking it. The enemy of my enemy becomes my savior. Scientists only discovered this behavior through deep sea submersibles, and we still know almost nothing about their full life cycle or how many exist. Deep sea fishing nets catch them as bycatch, and their light show has inspired designs for underwater distress beacons. While the atolla hides in darkness, one jellyfish conquered the shallowest waters on Earth. Upside-down jellyfish, a jellyfish that rejected everything jellyfish are supposed to do and invented a completely new lifestyle. While other jellyfish drift helplessly through the ocean, this one planted itself upside down in the sand and decided to farm sunlight instead. Its bell measures 10 to 30 centimeters across, and it rests bell down on the seafloor of shallow tropical lagoons and mangroves, pulsing its tentacles upward in a gentle rhythm. Those tentacles are packed with symbiotic algae, the same zooxanthellae that live inside corals, and they photosynthesize constantly, producing most of the jellyfish's food. It's basically a solar-powered jellyfish, supplementing its diet with plankton from the water it pulses through its arms. This lifestyle works perfectly in calm, sunlit shallows across the Indo-Pacific, but it comes with risks. Mangrove destruction removes its habitat, and water pollution blocks the sunlight its algae desperately need. Paradoxically, as oceans warm, upside-down jellyfish are spreading to new areas they couldn't survive in before. They're popular in aquariums because they're relatively easy to keep, but their mucus can irritate human skin even without direct contact. A mild sting from a creature that never meant to touch you. But not all jellyfish need homes, or even need the ocean. Freshwater jellyfish. A jellyfish living where jellyfish shouldn't exist, in rivers, lakes, ponds, and quarries far from any ocean. Tiny, transparent, appearing out of nowhere in landlocked waters, then vanishing completely for years. Its bell measures just 5 to 25 millimeters across, so small you could miss it even if you were looking directly at it. Originally from China's Yangtze River Valley, this jellyfish has somehow spread to freshwater systems worldwide, likely hitchhiking on aquarium plants or carried by water birds. But here's the strange part. It spends most of its life as a microscopic polyp clinging to rocks and plants underwater, completely invisible. Only when conditions are perfectly right, warm temperatures, specific water chemistry, does it transform into the jellyfish form. Then, just as suddenly, it disappears again. The jellyfish stage might last weeks or months before dying off, while the polyps remain dormant, sometimes for a decade, waiting for the right moment to bloom again. Cold temperatures kill the swimming jellyfish instantly, but the polyps survive frozen solid. Most people never notice them, despite their widespread presence, and their stingers are too small to pierce human skin. Completely harmless, mysteriously appearing and disappearing, showing how little we understand about biological invasions. From the smallest freshwater ponds to the deepest ocean trenches, one jellyfish exists beyond all normal rules. Big red jellyfish. Discovered only in 2003, living deeper than most submarines can reach, built like no other jellyfish that's ever existed. Massive, blood red, no tentacles at all, just thick fleshy arms that look designed by something that had never seen a jellyfish before. Its bell can grow up to 90 centimeters across, 3 feet of deep crimson drifting through the darkness between 600 and 1,500 meters down in the Pacific Ocean. Instead of delicate trailing tentacles, it has 4 to 7 muscular oral arms, thick appendages it uses to capture prey in ways scientists still don't fully understand. Its stomach fills most of the bell, and researchers haven't found visible reproductive organs, which means we have no idea how it reproduces. Fewer than 25 individuals have ever been observed, all of them filmed by remotely operated vehicles in the deep sea. The submersible pilots who first saw it named it Tiburonia Gran Rojo, Big Red in Spanish, because that's exactly what it looked like through their cameras. A giant red shadow moving slowly through the black water. Deep sea mining threatens habitats we barely understand, and this jellyfish represents how much of the ocean remains completely unexplored. an alien living in our own world, reminding us that the deep still holds creatures we've never imagined. If you want to see more species explained, click video on screen now and subscribe